The first flames erupted on Tuesday, January 7, 2025. The Los Angeles area faced a new reality, a raging inferno. Fueled by strong Santa Ana winds, the fire spread rapidly. The sky turned an apocalyptic orange as smoke blotted out the sun. Panic gripped communities as evacuation orders were issued. Initial reports were grim, with at least 11 confirmed fatalities. First responders were overwhelmed by the scale and intensity of the fires. Over 150,000 residents were under mandatory evacuation orders. The fires jumped freeways and consumed entire neighborhoods. As darkness fell, the glow of the flames illuminated the night sky. The fires left a trail of destruction in their wake. Fires like Palisades and Eaton became synonymous with fear and loss. Fueled by drought and climate change, the fires seemed unstoppable. The world watched in horror as the City of Angels battled an inferno. The Los Angeles area faced multiple firefronts, each posing a significant threat. The largest, the Palisades fire, raged east of Malibu, consuming over 21,000 acres. North of downtown Los Angeles, the EatonFire tore through 14,000 acres, leaving a trail of charred earth and debris. The Hearst fire, though smaller in size, threatened communities in Sylmar, north of San Fernando. Each fire had its own devastating story to tell. The Palisades fire, visible for miles, devoured multi-million-dollar homes and threatened to engulf the iconic Getty Museum. The Eaton fire, burning through dense canyonlands, posed a significant challenge for firefighters, its steep terrain hampering access. The Hearst fire, driven by fierce winds, jumped fire breaks and forced the closure of major highways, causing widespread chaos and disruption. As the fires raged, firefighters struggled to contain their spread. The dry conditions, combined with the Santa Ana winds, created a perfect storm for rapid fire growth. Containment remained low, with the Palisades fire only 8% contained, and the Eaton fire a mere 3%. The numbers were stark reminders of the uphill battle faced by those on the front lines. The LA wildfires are a result of complex, interconnected factors. Weather conditions, climate change, and human error all played a role. The region has been exceptionally dry, with rainfall less than 10% of the average. This drought, worsened by climate change, created a tinderbox environment. The Santa Ana winds, notorious for spreading wildfires, added to the volatility. Gusts up to 100 miles per hour turned small sparks into raging infernos. Questions arose about the role of power lines in the Eaton fire. Reports suggested active power lines in Altadena despite red flag warnings. An investigation was launched to determine if negligence played a role. The LA wildfires highlight the urgent need for preventative measures and understanding our changing climate. From the moment the first flames erupted, firefighters have been engaged in a relentless battle against the inferno. Working tirelessly in grueling conditions, they faced numerous challenges, including low water pressure, dry hydrants, and the sheer scale of the disaster. The terrain, ranging from steep canyons to dense urban areas, further complicated their efforts. Despite the challenges, firefighters from across California and beyond answered the call for help. Using helicopters, air tankers, and bulldozers, they worked day and night to contain the blaze. Their efforts, often heroic, saved countless lives and properties. However, the fires, moving faster than anticipated, often outpaced their efforts. The lack of resources, particularly water, hampered their ability to effectively combat the flames. The situation highlighted the immense pressure faced by first responders during such emergencies. The lack of adequate resources, coupled with the unpredictable nature of the fire, made their task incredibly difficult. Despite the setbacks, they continued to fight, their dedication a testament to their commitment to protecting lives and property. Section 5. An Uncertain Future. Weathering the Storm. As the fires continued to burn, all eyes turned to the skies, hoping for a reprieve. Unfortunately, the forecast offered little comfort. With no rain expected for at least a week, the dry conditions persisted, fueling the flames. The Santa Ana winds, though expected to ease slightly, were predicted to pick up again, further fanning the fires. The ongoing danger kept communities on edge as evacuation orders remained in place. The fires, still largely uncontained, posed an immediate threat to lives and property. The uncertainty of the situation weighed heavily on residents, many of whom had lost their homes and livelihoods. The threat, however, extended beyond the immediate danger of the flames. The smoke and ash from the fires blanketed the region, creating hazardous air quality. Hospitals reported a surge in respiratory problems, forcing residents to remain indoors. The long-term health effects of the fire, particularly on vulnerable populations, remained a concern. Section 6. Counting the cost, economic and personal loss. As the fires continued to burn, the full extent of the devastation began to emerge. The economic impact alone was staggering. Early estimates suggested insured losses could exceed $20 billion, with total losses potentially reaching $50 billion. Businesses were destroyed, homes reduced to ashes, and livelihoods upended. The cost, however, went far beyond the financial. The human toll of the fires was immeasurable. Families were displaced, forced to seek refuge in shelters uncertain of their future. The emotional trauma of losing loved ones, homes, and cherished possessions took a heavy toll on the community. The fires did not discriminate. Among those who lost their homes were several high-profile celebrities. Their plight a stark reminder that disaster can strike anyone, regardless of wealth or status. Their stories, shared on social media, brought the human cost of the fires into sharp focus. The LA wildfires, a tragedy of immense proportions, left an indelible mark on the city and its people, highlighting the fragility of life and the importance of community in times of crisis. Section 7. A city divided, political fallout and public outrage. As the fires raged, so too did the political firestorm. Criticism mounted over the state's handling of the disaster, particularly its preparedness and response. California Governor Newsom faced intense scrutiny over the state's water management policies, with many blaming the drought on mismanagement. Adding fuel to the fire were the mistaken emergency alerts that caused confusion and hampered evacuation efforts. Residents reported receiving conflicting information, leading to delays and frustration. The governor, facing mounting pressure, announced an independent investigation into the state's response to the fires. The fires exposed a deep divide in the city, highlighting existing inequalities. While affluent communities hired private firefighters to protect their properties, others felt abandoned and forgotten. The disaster laid bare the need for equitable disaster preparedness and response, ensuring that all communities receive adequate support during emergencies. Section 8. Lessons from the ashes, prevention and preparedness. As the fires slowly began to subside, the focus shifted from response to recovery and, more importantly, prevention. The LA wildfires served as a stark reminder of the increasing threat of wildfires in a changing climate. The need for proactive measures to mitigate future disasters became abundantly clear. Experts stressed the importance of forest management, including controlled burns and brush clearance, to reduce fuel loads. Improved building codes incorporating fire-resistant materials were deemed essential for new constructions in fire-prone areas. The role of climate change in exacerbating droughts and creating ideal conditions for wildfires could no longer be ignored. Public awareness campaigns, educating residents on fire safety and preparedness measures, were crucial. This included creating defensible spaces around homes, knowing evacuation routes, and having a disaster preparedness kit ready. The LA wildfires, a wake-up call for the city and the world, underscored the urgent need for a multifaceted approach to wildfire prevention and preparedness. Section 9. Hope Endures, the Spirit of Los Angeles. Despite the devastation and loss, the spirit of Los Angeles shone through. Amidst the ashes, stories of resilience, compassion, and community emerged. Neighbors helped neighbors, strangers offered aid, and volunteers flocked to shelters offering comfort and support. Donation centers overflowed with food, clothing, and essential supplies for those displaced by the fires. First responders, working tirelessly, were met with an outpouring of gratitude and support. The fires, though devastating, brought out the best in humanity. reminding everyone of the power of unity in the face of adversity. As the city begins the long process of rebuilding, the scars of the fires will remain. The memories of the lives lost and the homes destroyed will forever be etched in the hearts of Angelenos. Yet, from the ashes, hope emerges. The spirit of Los Angeles, unbroken and undeterred, will guide the city's recovery and inspire a renewed commitment to creating a safer, more resilient future for all.